A man spent 20 years building his dream house. One night, it burned to ashes. People expected him to cry, but while the entire village watched the fire, the man simply sat down quietly and smiled. A young boy standing nearby became angry. "How can you smile?" he shouted. "Your whole life is gone." The old man looked at the burning house and said, "Sometimes life destroys your plans to save your future." The boy never forgot those words, but he understood their life meaning only 3 days later. In a peaceful village surrounded by hills and forests lived a man named Devraj. He was known as the richest craftsman in the region. People traveled from faraway towns just to buy furniture made by his hands. But Devraj had one obsession. He wanted to build the most beautiful house the village had ever seen. For 20 years, he worked day and night. Every wooden pillar was carved by hand. Every wall had rare designs. Every corner carried his pride. People admired the mansion. Some envied it. And slowly, Devraj became attached to it. Whenever guests visited, he would proudly say, "After I die, people will still remember this house." His wife often warned him, "Don't love things too much. Nothing stays forever." But Devraj never listened. For him, the house was not just a home, it was his identity. One summer night, lightning struck near the forest. Within minutes, fire spread across the dry fields. The villagers ran with buckets of water. Women screamed. Children cried. But the wind was too strong. People watched helplessly as the most beautiful house in the village burned like paper. Everyone expected Devraj to collapse in grief, but strangely, he sat beneath a tree and watched silently. No tears, no panic, just silence. A young boy named Kunal became furious. "How can you sit like this?" he asked. "You lost everything." Devraj looked at him calmly and said, "When life takes something away, it usually makes space for something greater." Kunal thought the old man had lost his mind. That same night, Devraj and his wife slept in a small temple because they had nowhere else to go. At midnight, a traveler arrived at the village. He was wounded and exhausted. The traveler warned everyone. "A massive landslide is coming from the northern hills. Run before sunrise." The villagers panicked. They quietly gathered their families and escaped towards safer land. Before leaving, Kunal suddenly realized something horrifying. The landslide was heading directly towards the area where Devraj mansions once stood. The next morning, huge rocks and mud buried the entire place. Nothing survived, not a single wall remained. Kunal froze. If the fire had not destroyed the house earlier, Devraj and his wife would have been sleeping inside. They would have died. Kunal slowly turned toward Devraj. For the first time, he understood why the old man had smiled. Days later, the villagers helped Devraj build a small wooden hut near the river. It was simple, no carving, no luxury, no pride. One evening, Kunal visited him again. Were you really not sad when your house burned? He asked. Devraj smiled softly. Of course I was. Then why didn't you cry? The old man looked at the flowing river and said, because experience taught me something. When life changes your path suddenly, don't immediately call it punishment. Sometimes the thing breaking your heart is very thing protecting your life. Kunal said quietly. The sunset reflected on the river. Birds flew across the orange sky. And for the first time in his young life, he understood that not every loss is a tragedy. Some losses are hidden blessings. Everything happens for a reason, but sometimes life reveals the reason much later.